welcome back to 1 Hour with Ali Basyah Suryo. Tonight we have Pak Wimar Witoelar. Now, Pak Wimar, can we go on now on the subject of your skills, the writings? You wrote blogs, your articles and books. What is your favorite blog? Is a Perspective, is it?
Yes, Perspective online.
Online.
Spelled the Dutch way or Indonesian way, Perspektif.
Yeah. Yes. Now, do you have a lot of followers on these blogs?
Yes, I don't remember how many, but it is by ratings from magazines. It's the #1 current event blogs, since there are not many opinion blogs.
Yeah.
We are not a news blog, but opinion, and we get a lively response. That's not my only outlet, though. I make myself heard on the Facebook and private email and very many personal appearances.
Yes. And then, what do you want to write anyway? Is there a certain urge or certain drive that you need to express yourself?
I think it is in one continuous urge. As I think, I adopt an attitude, I say, I express the attitude verbally, and then I write it. So it's in one flow. So when people say I'm a writer, I said, I don't think I'm a writer. I'm a communicator, and I communicate in all kinds of ways. Sometimes it's good to speak one-on-one. Sometimes it's good to speak to a crowd. Sometimes you write. So I think my writing style is exactly the same as my speaking style. That's why people think it's unique, because others write more formally structured. I cannot write structured pieces. I have trouble writing a book. I have written books, but it's a problem. I can write nice articles, 500 words, 1,000 words, because I say what I have to say and then I stop. And blogs are ideal for that purpose, Pali.
Yes. And it seems you have a lot of followers because of your uniqueness in a way, in the way your comments, your opinions.
I guess it's because I am urged always, I am excited to comment on anything under the sun, except some issues like religion, maybe I don't comment on. But I comment on soccer or football, I comment on politics, obviously. I comment on economics since I am an MBA in finance. I comment on romance probably because I am a romantic man. I'm a single guy, And I also comment on ironies of life. I see people fighting in the supermarket and I wonder why should they fight about. So I just find a sense of wonder in daily occurrences. Maybe because I almost died and because my health has been poor. So now I see every day as a bonus, and I see so many things of beauty in every day, and I write about it. People think I write political things only, but no. In 2 magazines, I write columns which are totally outside of politics. But for Newsweek, Time, Australian papers, of course, they want politics. I give politics.
Because in your last contribution to the President Post, there was the subject of democracy. I think you mentioned something about like a washing machine or something that you want to clean up. What do you write in that scope, in that angle for democracy?
I love democracy. I love the idea that democracy is here in Indonesia. When we were kids, we were in Holland, in Stockholm, we read in America, and we thought democracy is a thing for the West. It could never happen here. We thought Sukarno is not democratic, Suharto is not democratic, but all of a sudden it is here. And not only do we have democracy, but it is the biggest in the world, the 3rd largest, biggest in the world, and the largest direct presidential elections in the world. And all of a sudden everybody understands democracy. Maybe they understand it too much. People are not disciplined. So it's good. So we have this resource, and I just want it to stay forever. I do not want to be abused for the benefit of a few. I do not want the elite to hijack democracy. But I remember what Amartya Sen, the Indian Nobel Prize winner, said. Democracy is not an option, it's a necessity. It is not the objective, because people can say, we've been democratic for 10 years, how come we are not rich? Well, democracy is not supposed to make you rich. It's supposed to make you able to exchange thoughts freely, and through that exchange, make the country richer. So I really believe in democracy as much as Abraham Lincoln or any of those guys. And I write a lot about it. I know, in a way, constant themes, but very many examples. And what is happening around us in Indonesia, for every public issue which brings us trouble, there's always a silver lining in the strengthening of democracy.
There's one German academic who was in Jakarta one time. He was saying that Indonesia maybe not time yet for democracy, simply because of the level of education. His conception is this: in the West, democracy will work when the average level of the population has a better standard of living and so education. Do you accept that?
The nice thing about democracy is I don't have to accept that idea. It's his idea, my idea is different.
Correct.
If we have to wait for a certain stage in the economic development, the question is, at what level do we jump to democracy? The second is, how do we become smarter without democracy? We had a system without democracy in the Sukarno and Suharto years, and the educational system became very confined. It became cramped and very debilitating.
Right.
People just didn't get smarter. They became more obedient. But the strongest nations in the world are all very democratic, and they've always been democratic. Just name the 10 richest countries, and they are democratic even before they became rich. So for me, it is not a choice. For some others, of course, in Germany you have very many thoughts, from the democratic ones to Hitler's days and Bismarck's days. So there's a profusion of opinions all over the world.
But the Indonesian democracy is Pancasila based? Is it
no,
typical Indonesian?
I don't care about Pancasila. I don't care about nationalism. I just care about respecting people and understanding what we have. And it's a very human thing. Being democratic means you respect other people's opinion, and that you're able to articulate your own opinions in an open forum. That's it. Well, Pancasila, maybe it's good to prescribe methods for people who don't quite understand the society, but those who know what it's about don't need any symbols or slogans.
So it's quite universal in a way.
It is universal.
It
is universal.
Very good. Now, you wrote books. What is it, more about nothing?
Well, I have a number of books with different themes. The one you're referring to is the series of books about nothings. It actually started with a collection of my articles, which I wrote for entertainment magazines in Jakarta area and Jakarta, which became quite popular. But when I look at the articles, it was really about nothing. Sometimes I talk about seeing a dog in a McDonald's in Holland and having the same rights as a person. Sometimes I think of myself as being more at home in the water than on land.